So what we're going to do now is we're going to do industry best practices or safe practices for uncoupling a unit from the trailer. Now this is different to what you would do on a driving test, so don't copy this if you're on a driving test. Go to our other videos which will example how you would do coupling and uncoupling for a driving test. This is industry safe or best practices, showing you how drivers every day couple and uncouple their unit from the trailer. Okay, so we've backed our unit and trailer into the warehouse where we're going to drop the trailer now. We've checked prior to coming in here that the ground surface can take the weight of the trailer, so that's an important thing. Whenever you're dropping a trailer, check that the surface is strong enough to take the trailer and never drop the trailer legs or undo the trailer legs, let the trailer legs down on grating or anything that's weak, because obviously it'll push through and break through. So we have checked that. We've parked inside the warehouse. We're on a concrete floor. We'll take the weight. So now I'm going to climb out of the truck, 3 points of contact doing so. 1, 2, 3. Down we come. I'm going to shut the door. I'm going to start the first part of uncoupling the trailer from the unit. Okay, so I've got my gloves. And I'm going to come down the side of the trailer. First thing we're going to do, we're going to locate the park brake to the trailer. Park brake on. Landing legs. Put the legs down. Now, the difference between what we're going to do today, and this is industry safe practices, rather than an actual HGV test standard, is we are going to put the legs near to the ground because we're going to use the suspension on the unit to uncouple, to help us uncouple. So that's literally on the ground now. Stow that away, and then we'll go back to the Susie lines. Again, as best you can, it's 3 points of contact, make sure you don't slip. And now we're going to undo the Susie lines, or primary electric. You can normally put them away in a parking area here. Same with electric, doesn't really matter which way around you do these, normally as long as you don't try and step over the lines. With the collars here, make sure that you line the collar up with a pin. Sometimes if you can't see it, like I couldn't, you have to feel it. These actually go underneath like that, but because I haven't got the pins missing, I might just jam that in there as best I can. Same here, a line, pull back. And I'm going to stow that there for now. And with this one, this is your ABS lead, there's a trigger underneath, pull the trigger, and then we can stow that in the parking area there. And then again, we're going to come down with 3 points of contact. And bring that. Now, just while we're here, we're going to walk around the back of the trailer. Now, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. Different drivers have different ways of doing it. However, just so I don't forget, I've come round the back to remind myself to get the number plate, because there's nothing worse than dropping a trailer at one destination, driving off, getting to the next trailer, and you forgot the number plate and that's stuck at another destination. So, number plate's with me, and then I'm going to carry on up along the side of the trailer. I'm just going to put this away. In fact, I'm just going to put it in the door for now. Normally we put it in the side lockers, but now I've got to. This is a Volvo, so it's got a bit of a funny chain pull. So I'm going to pull that out of the way. Pull that up. That in. Now here, I'm dipping and driving. I use my legs there to pull that, because otherwise you end up with shoulder injuries and elbow injuries. So that's legs are down, fifth pin is out, all that's, Susie's disconnected. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the truck and I'm going to pull the truck apart, and we'll see that on the video. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start the engine into gear. Check. We're going to pull forward a little bit. That's just now just breaking the seal between the two. I'm going to reapply the park brake to neutral. Now I'm going to pick up the suspension And on the suspension, we're going to use power on by pressing the white button and down. And if you look at the back now, you'll see the back end is lowering. Now what we're doing, we're de-weighting the unit and we're weighting up, putting all the weight on the trailer legs. So now the trailer, even though we're still partially connected, or in the fact we were sitting underneath the slide plate, what we're doing now is allowing the trailer to take its own weight. And as we pull forward, we should see, keep your eye on the mirrors, obviously on the camera for you, mirrors for me, you should see the trailer just sit down, there she goes. Check both mirrors and we're clear of the trailer. Park brake on to neutral. And that's as it would be done on the industry, obviously a lot quicker than that, possibly, a lot more fluid, but because I'm trying to explain at the same time, it does sound a little bit long-winded, if you like, but that's how we do it. Okay, so now we're going to carry on with the simulation of coupling back up to the trailer. Now imagine that you've come out your transport office, you've been given a manifest, probably a little bit bigger than this, but you've been given a manifest for the trailer and the load. Now, several times in the past, myself and colleagues of mine will have made the mistake of getting the paperwork, going straight to the trailer, coupling up, and then dragging it out, getting to your customer, and then opening the back doors and go, oh dear, wrong trailer, or wrong load, or wrong trailer. So, imagine you've got your manifest, you've got your trailer number on. So the first thing I'm going to do is check my trailer number and my manifest. So on here it's got PGS 50. So as we can look at the trailer, on this trailer design, that would be the identification of the trailer there, PGS 50. Now on top of that, because people make mistakes, including the office workers who are doing the manifest, what I will do now is check the manifest to see what we are actually loaded with. Now, obviously this is a training truck, so it should be loaded with ballast, water ballast. So we've got about 10 tonnes on, I think, of water ballast. So let's go around the back and check the load. And if we have a quick look inside, we check the manifest, saying we've got water ballast on, and as we can see, we've got our water ballast. It's all safe and secure inside the trailer. The reason for that is there's nothing worse. You've got the right trailer number, you take it to the right destination, but when you get there, it's got the incorrect loading. So again, some people will say, well, that's not the driver's fault, but it's part of the driver's practice to make sure we're getting the right load to the right destination. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we've checked the paperwork, we've checked the trailer number, it's the correct trailer number, correct paperwork. So we're going to visually check the side of the trailer. We're going to make sure, first of all, the park brake's on. Again, just so that when we do come to couple up, we don't knock the trailer back. Side guards, make sure that everything's solid on the truck. Again, we do this before we couple up. The reason I do it before I couple up is because, again, times have been before where you've coupled up, you've done your tests on, you've hooked all your air lines and Susie lines up, you put your number plates on, then you go to switch all your power on and either you've got a bald tyre or you've got your lights, some of the lights out, or something's mechanically wrong. So I'd rather quickly check it and then we can do a light check again at the end. So side guards, tyres are good, wheel nuts, guards, everything's solid. Just checking everything's solid, we've got good tread, wheel nuts are all on. That looks okay, suspension's set good. Sides of the trailer look in good condition. We've already looked into the back of the trailer, so we'll just check, make sure all the doors are secure and in the locks are all where they should be. And pop the number plate on. So that's that done. All the lights look good. Again, we can't check them until the end when we hook the Susies up. All the way round, the levels stowed away correctly. Again, all looking good. Tyres, yep, good, all solid. Marker lights are all on. Side guards nice and secure. Just a quick check. Nothing sticking out. Susan, that look okay. Okay. So just for information or help some of the drivers, we are using the suspension to lift and pick up the trailer today. However, if you do come across a trailer that's really, really low or really, really high and your suspension, it's outside the realms of your suspension, inside most of these trailers, there's a section here, it's a gearbox. Now, if I try to turn that to lower the trailer, as you would do if you were hooked up. Obviously there's too much weight on it, so it's got what we call a low range gear. Push it right in, and then it's really easy, but as I'm doing that, very, very finely, that trailer is lowering to the ground, lower and lower. Or vice versa, if I go like that, then obviously it's going up. It's a little bit harder because it's lifting the weight of the trailer, but it can still be done on the low range gear. So if you come across a trailer that's outside the range of the suspension system, you have to come to the trailer, use the gearbox on the trailer to higher or lower it, enabling yourself to get it within the realms of the suspension of the unit. Now we're going to back the unit onto the trailer. Again, just for safety reasons, obviously this is part of the safe systems, if you like, of coupling. I am going to back her up, but I'm going to check the heights. Let's get it level. I'm using the mirrors now to align the unit to the trailer. And again, I've already checked the park brake on the trailer, so I'm fine with that. But what I'll double check now, stop there. A lot of drivers, you probably see a lot of drivers doing this, but they should do, is to come down and just have a quick check to make sure that the height is correct. Because if your unit's too low, the pin, which is here, will shoot over the fifth wheel, drop in behind there, and then when you test tug, it will feel as if you have actually got connection and then you hook all the lines up, turn left or right, and that will just slide straight off the bed. So it's very important that you check the levels to make sure that is going to go in. Also, if you come in too high with the unit, then you'll end up sending the chassis into the headboard of the trailer and damaging the trailer. Obviously, if you overshoot completely, you damage the back of the unit. So I've just checked, it looks the right height to go under, so I'm happy with that. Now, I've got my control system on my lap at the moment. Check positions again. Push under a little bit, just enough, not all the way, so I haven't connected yet. I'm going to now use the suspension by switching it on. If you look in the mirrors and the camera line, you'll see the suspension going up. There she goes. Pushing up as much as you can. I usually take it all the way to the top. I think that's near the top. Push back. And now you will feel the clunk. Test tug. 1, 2. Give a good test tug. And park brake on, neutral, engine off. Now I've left the suspension high at the moment. There's a couple of reasons for that. I want to make sure that we can check that we've got the trailer. So the first thing we're going to do is put the safety chain in, but we're going to also check to make sure there is no gap between the fifth wheel and the slide plate of the trailer, which there isn't. Then we can pop the safety chain in, or the dog clip in there. That'll stop the arm coming out. You can do another check. Some companies like you, some companies don't like you to do the next check. I will show you, and then obviously it's according to what safe systems of work that your company that you're working for might want, or may not want you to do this, but I'll show you anyway. So I've put my lights on my phone. And the reason I don't want you to go is because I obviously don't want you to hit your head. And all I'm doing is I've checked up the back where the fifth wheel here to make sure that the pin's in the slot and the bar is across, which it is. So again, be careful what you're doing there, because some companies can let you do it, some won't. So we now know that we've definitely got the trailer. The pin's in, that's in, the safety chain is on. We'll walk round. And we're going to connect up Susie lines. 3 points of contact again, the best you can. And again, there's no right or wrong way of doing this, as long as you don't try not to step over the air lines and the Susie lines, because they are a trip hazard. So, I mean, I've put the top ones in realistically. I probably could have gone for the bottom ones first, it would have been easier, but still. Put that in there. Red line. make sure you turn the collar so it misaligns with that pin. You don't want that pulling off. Same with the service line. Pin in, push up, give it a waggle, make sure you misalign that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 points of contact. Down we come. Close that. Now, the good thing about lifting on suspension is because we've lifted the trailer legs clear to the ground, they should be nice and simple and easy and light to bring them up. Stow away, make sure they're stowed. Now, if you're going to release the park brake at this point, pick a date and point, that wheel for that tyre. If you're on incline decline, if by mistake you've left the handbrake or the park brake off in the cab, if I push that in, keep my hand on it, watch that tyre. If I've left the park brake off, that starts to roll, bam, I can stop the vehicle from rolling away and not panic. Because what a lot of drivers will do is this, push it in, move away, and then all of a sudden they notice the truck's moving. So what do? Usually run in front of their own truck and get run over or into the door. So 10 seconds on that park brake, that should do you. 5 to 10 seconds is do you. Now then, we've got to do our final checks now to make sure all the electrics work. So what I'm going to do now is start the engine. You don't really need to start the engine, but I'll just make sure that the air pressure builds up. Lights on, lights on. Air pressure's coming up into the green. While we're here and we've got air pressure up, what I'm going to do now is before you go out on the road, because I've lifted that suspension up to lift the trailer, I've got to ride what they call ride level. So I've got to reset the suspension to actually go out on the road to make sure it's safe and secure and stable. So power the system on, press the green, I've powered it on by the white button, press the green button, and we can hear the air coming out and the unit's dipping. And what that's doing is it's feeling the weight and adjusting the suspension per the load so that the vehicle's now nice and evenly spread weight over its axles. Pop that away. I'm going to quickly get out, have a quick walk round checking the electrics, all the lights, marker lights, side lights. All the way around. Again, lights. You can ask a colleague or a colleague or someone to check your brake lights for you. Marker lights. You can ask a colleague to check the brakes, or you can, if it's dark or you've got a reflective surface, you can press the brakes, look in your mirrors, you'll see the reflection off the surface. Some companies have mirrors, so as you are driving around the yard, they normally put a mirror so that the driver can press the brake lights and check it, the brake lights are working in the mirror. In this case, we're going to use a colleague, and we'll do it before we leave. Side lights, we've checked all the tyres, we've checked mechanically prior, so we're quite happy. I'll double check to make sure the number plate was on, the legs are up, the Susie's all connected, fifth wheel's all in, the dog clip's all in, and it looks nice and safe. We've reset the suspension, so theoretically, that makes us safe for the road. I'd check the brakes before I went out, and that's about it at the moment.